أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Asif Ali Parvez and this is my presentation number 14. And as you know, the theme of my presentations are Holy Quran and science. In this presentation, I will talk about Professor Abdus Salam who won the Nobel Prize in 1979. I want to start with a meeting with Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis Rahmatullah Alayh in 1972 when I was a lecturer in physics at Talimul Islam College, Rabwa. So we, the professors and lecturers of physics and students of MSc class, went to see Hazur. In a meeting, Hazur said, Professor Abdus Salam will, inshallah, win the Nobel Prize. And his prediction was fulfilled 7 years later in 1979. Now I want to start with the verse of Holy Quran. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ardi wa ikhtilafil layli wan nahari la ayatil li ulil albab. His translation is, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of the night and the day, there are indeed signs for men of understanding. Surah Al-Imran, verse 191. Now, I am showing you this chart. We scientists called it as standard model of elementary particles. Now, for a scientist, this is a very, very important chart. But for a layman, the only thing you can see is there's some alphabets, U is there, C is there, and there's some Greek letters like mu is there. So what this chart is showing us, this is the blueprint of creation of universe and the earth. These letters are representing a particle. And the point, I will inshallah be giving a series of lectures about each particle and its importance. But today I just want to say that Professor Abdus Salam have made a major contribution in the discovery of W, Z and H particles. Now I want to mention services of Professor Abdus Salam to Pakistan. He was made advisor to the Education Commission 1959. Same year he became member of Scientific Commission and a member of Pakistan Atomic Energy Agency. He became the chief scientific advisor to Government of Pakistan, and here is a picture of Professor Abdus Salam and President Muhammad Ayub Khan Sahab. President Muhammad Ayub Khan Sahab wanted him to work full-time, and his status as a chief scientific advisor was equivalent to a federal minister. But Professor Abdus Salam Sahab said, Mr. President, I will do all the job which you expect me to do as chief scientific advisor, but I have two conditions. Number one, I will not take any salary. Number two, I will stay in London as head of physics department, Imperial College, so I could carry on with my research as well. But I assure you, I can do both jobs together. And President Ayub agreed to them. In 1974, then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, he passed an ordinance against the Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya that they are not Muslim or not Muslim for the purpose of law. Professor Abdus Salam protested, and in protest, he resigned from his very important position, prestigious position as chief scientific advisor. Now, while he was chief scientific advisor, he built many institutes in Pakistan, and I've just picked three here. He started what we call as the SPARCO, which is Space and Upper Atmosphere Research Commission in 1961, and he was the first president of that institute. He also started 5 research councils in 1962, so they should research on different aspects, different parts of industry which was needed. And he also started an international science conference in Pakistan. And not only the Pakistani scientists were invited to this, but the world-renowned scientists, the eminent scientists, including many Nobel laureates, were invited to come to Pakistan. Now, he also built a great institution which we called as Pakistan Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology. This was the first reactor which was built in Pakistan, and Professor Abdus Salam Sahab chose his place, and it was completed under his leadership. And I had the good opportunity to visit the center in 1972. He always wanted nuclear energy to be used for peaceful purposes. So he led a project to build Karachi nuclear power plant. And it was opened in 1972. In this picture, you can see Professor Abdus Salam Sahab is reading the welcome address, and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Sahab is sitting there as Prime Minister of Pakistan. And one other important thing which he did, he and the chairman of Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, Usmani Sahib, they sent nearly 500 Pakistani scientists to come to Europe and to America to do their PhD with this promise that they must go back and to serve their country again. Now, Professor Abdus Salam Sahab have made international achievement as well. He was appointed as Secretary of International Conference for Peaceful Use of Atom in 1955, in which many Nobel laureates attended, and they were looking how we can make peaceful use of atomic energy rather than to make the atom bomb. Professor Abdus Salam started the setting up of an international center for theoretical physics. Now, he had a great opposition. Most of the Western world did not support him. Even some developed countries did not support him. But Professor Abdus Salam was determined that this center should be built so that the scientists from the developed country and as well as underdeveloped countries come to this center, share the ideas, and then go back to their own countries and make contribution towards the progression of science in their own countries. After a long struggle, it was voted by UNO that this center should be built. Now, Professor Abdus Salam Sahab wanted the center to be built in Pakistan, in Lahore, Pakistan. He came to Pakistan and met President Ayub and requested him that this center should be built in Lahore. President Ayub agreed with this proposal, but then he said, could you please see our finance minister, because obviously there will be money involved, and I hope the finance minister will give the money. So Professor Abdus Salam went to see him. He was not a scientist. He was probably an economist, and explained the need for this. And Professor said, look, I'm not expecting a lot of money. What I'm expecting is to build a conference center in which there is a place for the lectures and workshops, so scientists all over the world could come, share ideas, and then go back to their countries. But the finance minister could not understand. And he thought, oh, perhaps Professor Abdus Salam wants to build a 5-star hotel. So he said to President Ayub, my understanding is you want to build a 5-star hotel in Pakistan, and we have no money, we have no need to build a 5-star hotel. How naive he was. In my opinion, if this center was built in Pakistan, Pakistan would have progressed in science by leaps and bounds. And I'm confident that many Pakistanis would have won the Nobel Prize. Very sad. It hurts me when I think about it. The golden opportunity was missed. Meanwhile, the Italian government said, okay, we give you the land, we give you some money, you build the center here. And can you believe the center was started in a hired building? So that's where it humble start took place. And then the UNESCO and International Atomic Energy Agency and UNO, and particularly and Italy and many other sources provided the necessary fund. Today, this is probably the most important, the prestigious institute in the world. This is the only institute which is run under UNESCO, under UNO. Professor Abdus Salam was appointed his first director. Now, Professor Abdus Salam have made, and his family, I must say, have made a very big personal sacrifice. Because Professor Abdus Salam Saab used to spend nearly fortnight in Italy, a fortnight at home, where he was head of department in Imperial College. So naturally, his family was without him for at least a fortnight. So great contribution by his family as well. When he died, next year it was decided by International Atomic Energy Agency and UNESCO that the name of this institute will be Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics. So what an honor for Professor Abdus Salam Sahib. He also started a third world academy of sciences so that the scientists from the third world could also meet each other and share ideas. And this was established in 1983, and he was appointed as first president of this society. Now, Professor Abdus Salam Sahib have won so many prizes. The list is so long that I have to make slide after slide. And I can say even a physicist, a professor, if he could even just win one of these prizes, he'd probably be very proud of it. But let me give you quickly the list of some of the medals I mentioned here. He was awarded Adam Prize in 1958, Maxwell Medal 1961, Hughes Medal 1964, Robert Oppenheimer Medal 1971, Royal Medical from the Royal Society of Britain 1978, Nobel Prize, which we all know and I've mentioned in great detail, in 1979, Einstein Medal, another prestigious award, 1979, and the government of Pakistan awarded him the highest civil award, Nishan-e-Imtiaz. Now, as I said, Professor Abdus Salam's wish was for peaceful use of nuclear science, peaceful use of atomic energy. That was his goal. And he was awarded again a lot of prizes for this. For example, Atom for Peace in 1968, International Peace Award 1978, Peace Medal from Prague 1981, City of Paris Medal from France 1983, Edinburgh Medal from Scotland 1988, Science for Peace from Italy 1989, and Catalonia Prize from Spain 1990. And as I said, this list goes on. Now, Professor Abdus Salam was awarded fellowship of the most prestigious societies. He became fellow of the Royal Society in 1954, and he was the youngest member of the Royal Society, which is based in Britain, and it's a very, very prestigious society. He was made fellow of the Royal Swedish Society in 1970, Pakistan Medical Sciences 1987, African Academy Sciences 1988, Russian Academy Science 1992, American Physical Society 1993, and is awarded 47 PhD degrees. Just think of the number. 47 PhD honorary degrees from the most prestigious universities in the world. Now I want to turn back to Holy Quran. Allah Ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, kullu man alayha fan, wa yabqa wajhu rabbika zul jalali wal ikram. And its translation is, all that is on this earth will pass away, and there will remain only the person of thy Lord, Master of glory and honor. Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 27-28. Professor Abdus Salam Saab died on 21st of November 1996 after a long illness. His funeral prayer was led by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahmatullah Alayh at the Fazl Mosque, London. And that's where I saw his face, tears in my eyes, and with a broken heart. and I saw his face last time while he was lying in the coffin. His body was taken to Rabwa and he was buried in what is known as PH.D Maqbara, and that's where my parents are buried as well. Professor Abdus Salam has been remembered by many countries by giving the name to the roads, such as at CERN or at International Center for Theoretical Physics. This year, I'm talking of 2020, only a couple of months ago, a plaque was put at his house by English Heritage, and it says, which you can see his picture here, says Abdus Salam, 1926-1996, physicist, Nobel laureate, and champion of science in developing countries, lived here. What an honor! What an honor! Professor Abdus Salam is my hero, my mentor. I knew him when I was in school and in college. In 1970, Abdus Salam Physics Society was established at Talim Islam College, Rabwa. And with great humbleness, I say, I was elected the first president of Abdus Salam Physics Society. Professor Abdus Salam used to visit our physics department quite regularly, and he used to lecture us on his scientific research, and he used to encourage us to do this. And that's where I picked that I should do some research in my life. While we're studying, he started a scholarship in the memory of his father and late Muhammad. Here I'm showing you a cutting from the newspaper whose name is Al-Fazl, and it is of 19th March 1970, roughly 50 years ago. And its heading is LUQMAN Scholarship, and this article is written by Professor Dr. Nasir Ahmed Khan Sahab, Head of Department of Physics, Talim Islam College, Rabwa. The heading of this is LUQMAN Scholarship. And it's in Urdu, so I just translate it. So it says, Professor Nasir Khan Sahab says that I and Professor Qazi Muhammad Aslam Sahib, who was principal of Talim Islam College, Rabwa, went to see Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis Rahmatullah Alayh and requested that we have many brilliant students in MSc classes, and Professor Dr. Abdus Salam Sahab has started a scholarship in memory of his late father, and he has already deposited 1600 rupees. So it was a scholarship for 50 rupees per month. He said that I requested to Hazur that we have many more intelligent students. So Hazur said, publish a note in the newspaper that for any brilliant student, if he has not enough funds to carry on his education, I will pay for that. Nasir Khan Sahab says that because he was sick, so it took some time to select the student who will get Muhammad Hussein's scholarship, and it was awarded to Muhammad Ali Tawni Sahib, one of my classmates. He informed Hazur of this decision, but he wrote that there is another student, and that's the humble one, Asif Ali Parvez. He is as able as the other student is, and I recommend that he should be awarded a scholarship as well. So Hazur wrote a note with his own pen, and note says, a scholarship of 60 rupees per month named LUQMAN Scholarship I will give. Send an invoice for Asif Ali. So the note says that the student, which was me, has been informed of Hazur's decision, and he requested prayers that may Allah give them intelligence and they progress leaps and bounds. And the last paragraph, it says that both of these students have received well over 80% marks in our weekly test. I want to say very, very humbly this thing. That day, nearly 50 years ago, I still remember it as if it was yesterday, when I was informed as if this scholarship, tears came from my eyes, that Hazur Khalifatul Masih Salis, Rahmatullah alayh, has started this scholarship from me, LUQMAN scholarship, which is after the Prophet, Hazrat LUQMAN. And Hazur, with his own pen, wrote my name. I think, and I still believe, this is probably the best award I could ever get in my life. Much, much bigger than any worldly awards. Now in my next program, I will discuss the fourth force, which is strong nuclear force, and that will be in program number 15. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. God bless you. Wa akhiru da'wana. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.